Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Would everybody please take a moment to stand for the presentation of colors by members of the Broken Arrow High School JROTC. And here to sing our national anthem is Broken Arrow High School senior, Michaela Chavez.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, no, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. No, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome, everyone, to the Star Awards for 2022, honoring our District Teacher of the Year, our Site Teachers of the Year, and our Beyond and Above Award winners. I'm Adam J. Foreman, Executive Director of Public Relations for Broken Arrow Schools, and I bet you've never heard that phrase this year at all. So happy to be here. This is my favorite event of the entire year. Love seeing all of our teachers together, our principals, our support staff. What a wonderful cross-section of wonderful people who make this district great. You're probably wondering, on your tables, these shoes that you see. You see some shoes on your tables. Those were put together by Mr. Avery Chambers from Broken Arrow High School and his art students, so a big round of applause for them. And what do the shoes mean? Well, I'll tell you what they mean. You hear the phrase, walk a mile in someone's shoes. Can you imagine walking a mile in a teacher's shoes and everything that they do for your students, parents, staff? Unbelievable. And so the kids put these together just to show all the different varieties and colors and wonderfulness about our teachers and our staff. So we're so glad you're here tonight. And for those of you who are watching online, yes, we are streaming at ArrowVision.tv worldwide. So we're excited to have all those viewers with us tonight. And we could not pull off this event without our amazing sponsors. And when I read them, please wait till the very end. I know teachers like to follow instructions. Wait till the very end, and we will give a round of applause. So our sponsors tonight are Matthews Ford, Flint Co., TTCU Federal Credit Union, and the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation. Let's give them a big round of applause. And before we dive into this year's honorees, we're going to recognize a very special group of people. In this room, if you have been a past district or site teacher of the year, would you please stand so that we may recognize you? There you are. Yes, wonderful. And if you're Linda Webb and Kay Long, remain standing for the rest of the night. Those are our state teachers of the year. We're very, very proud of them, yes. So we have some great people in attendance tonight. We're going to start with our leadership cabinet board. And you can stand up when your name is called, but we'll hold applause till they're all called. So I love when you guys follow instructions. It's the best day ever. Carla Dias, Deputy Superintendent. Larry Shack. I saw that. Carla Dias, Deputy Superintendent. Larry Shackelford, Associate Superintendent. Natalie Enoff, Chief Financial Officer. Ashley Bowser, Chief Technology Officer. Rosalind Van Jackson, Chief Support Services Officer. Rusty Stecker, Chief Human Resources Officer. And Steve Dunn, Chief Student Engagement and Public Relations Officer. Big round of applause for the cabinet. Wonderful. And there's one cabinet member that I did not mention, but it was on purpose, because I'm about to bring him to the stage tonight. Please welcome to the podium your Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Chuck Perry.
Thank you. Such an exciting night to be a part of. And I was going to say it feels almost like the Oscars, but after last week, I hope it's not like that. Several things. First off, nights like tonight would not happen without the support and drive of our Board of Education, and I do want to recognize them tonight. We have Mr. John Cockrell and Miss Brandy Roulette, and would you all please stand? They are committed, along with the rest of our board, to honoring teachers and making this a special night. They are very supportive and really push our administration to do things that are out of the ordinary that other districts aren't doing to honor our teachers. And I think now we're in a time period where it's more important than ever before to recruit great teachers into Broken Arrow, but secondly, retain the great teaching staff that we have in Broken Arrow. So I appreciate that. And their commitment, and just really, anytime you talk to them, they want the best for our kids, and that is, it's just great to work with them. I also want to thank our sponsors. I know Mr. Foreman mentioned them, but nights like that could not happen without them. But today I stand in front of you as a product of Broken Arrow Public Schools. My life was greatly impacted as a K through 12 student at BA. And the impact that the teachers, custodians, cafeteria workers, coaches, what they poured into my life has been invaluable. I think back and I can see the faces of the teachers and the principals at various sites that I went to. Went to Oakcrest Elementary. Is there any Oakcrest people here in the house? Sequoia Middle School. There we go. South Intermediate. No longer there. And obviously the high school there. All of those, from, I can think back to Miss Hood, my kindergarten teacher, to Miss Palmer, my senior English teacher, and all of them in between. Just thankful that I was raised in a school district that had the academic foundation, the support. It's just, you know, believing in our students, believing in me, giving me confidence, and most importantly, being able to walk into the school, walk into a classroom to a warm, homey feeling. And there's nothing like that, nothing better than we can give a kid than that. So I'm thankful for Broken Arrow teachers. My youngest daughter is a senior at OSU, and she is majoring in elementary education. And we talked several years ago about career choices. And when she brought up the desire to be a teacher, I could have said, you know, I could have picked out 4 or 5 things and tried to steer her in a different direction, but I didn't. And today she knows that I believe and that the teaching and the entire education field is still a noble calling. I would encourage people to go in public education. We're doing more things than we've ever done before, with more baggage and weight and mandates than ever before. And I still think it's a place that we need to give the public relations dollars and really promote the great things that are happening in public schools, but most importantly, Broken Arrow. I do think the future is bright. We can talk about all of the emergency certified teachers that are entering the field. We can talk about the teacher shortages coming out of the universities. We can talk about all the negatives and the shots that public education. But I'm really not deterred. I really do think the future is bright because of the people in the classroom. You all are the best of the best. And not only in Broken Arrow, but in the state of Oklahoma, I would put our teachers up against any district at any time for the commitment and passion that you have for our students. You do a great job. You're masters of your content, but also you just care about students. You really care about culture in that classroom, and that makes as much as a difference as the academic than it does anything else. So I appreciate that. I'm honored to be called your superintendent, stand in front of you tonight, and I truly mean that. You have choices. I keep talking about this lately. You have choices of other districts. You could go to Jinx, Bixby, Union, Tulsa Public Schools, but you haven't. You have made Broken Arrow Public Schools your home, and I don't take that for granted, and we need to do all we can do to support you so that it continues to be your home for years to come. Students need you more than ever before. No time in history do I think a teacher is more impactful than today and what you do for them. Your night tonight, I want it to be a great night. I'm so glad to see the families come in and support us too. Again, I can't tell you enough. I'm honored to be here, and I'm going to close with always remember what? The best is yet to come. Thank you. Have a great night.
Thank you so much, Chuck. And I left the stage on purpose so you wouldn't slap me. But you can smack me anytime you want. Most people, when they hear my name, they want to. Thank you for laughing. Anyway, now I want to bring up to the stage from our Board of Education. She's super excited to be here tonight. Board member Brandy Roulette. Let's give her a big hand.
The stairs were half the battle, and I made it, so that's a good start. Mr. Perry gave a shout out to his schools. I'm also a K through 12 product of Broken Arrow, but I went to Vandiver Elementary. Anybody of them in the house? There we go. All right, well, I'm so honored to be here. Once again, I think this is one of the most important nights of the year for our district, celebrating our teachers and staff who have given so much during the year. And it's truly an honor, not only for myself, but for the 4 other individuals that I have the pleasure of serving on the board with. We have been through so much over the past several years, and through it all, it was you, the teachers, who stood tall and carried out our mission of educating our children and preparing them for the future. As a fellow educator and a parent of 2 Broken Arrow graduates, I know how important your role is every day in our classrooms, in the hallways, and in the lives of the young people in our community. Your students see you, they know you, and they rely on you for many roles you fill: mentor, coach, advisor, counselor, and yes, sometimes even a friend. In a short span of years, you get to interact with these kids. You are changing them, and you're changing them for the better. And in the process, you're changing yourselves as well. Every child you pour into is another opportunity to deposit the kind of selflessness into your own lives. Just as our students continually learn and grow, so do we. And we get to watch these future generations of leaders that we have poured into. So on behalf of Broken Arrow Education, the Board of Education, I just want to say thank you. We see you, we appreciate you, we hear you, and we are here to support you. And I just want to say thank you so much for serving and for being part of Broken Arrow.
Thank you so much, Brandy. Okay, we're about to start doing some awards tonight. So, for all of you that are nominated, deep breaths. It's a great night. Live in this moment. This is all about you. Relax. It's all good. The dance starts in 20 minutes, so learn your steps. No, we want you to have a great time. This is a great night to honor you, and we love being here to do so. So we're going to start with our Beyond and Above Awards, which are presented to our support staff, and they are nominated by their peers and their advisors. And someone's going to give you a little more interesting info about that. He is the chair of the Beyond and Above Awards and also the executive director of Student Services. Please welcome to the stage Mr. Derek Blackburn.
Good evening. They told me I had 20 minutes to speak, so isn't that funny how that always makes everybody laugh? Anyways, good evening. The following recognition is truly dedicated to our support staff, who without them, our children would not be fed, there would be no public transportation, our schools would not be operational, there would be no daycare, and our students and faculty would not have any support during the day. So if you don't mind, would you please take this moment to give all of our district support staff a round of applause. This is the 7th year of this award, and we truly want to thank the school board, the district leadership, and our partnership with Flintco, who makes this recognition possible for our support staff. I also want to recognize those individuals that serve on the committee with myself, and that would be Ken Ellett, Rusty Stecker, Kim Bento, Amanda Grace, and last year's winner, Nicole Kegley. Without their involvement, the task of identifying 5 recipients out of a vast number of employees that are very well deserving would have been very impossible. As I stated previously, the Beyond and Above recognition was created 7 years ago. What I didn't state was how we identify the 5. What makes these staff members stand out over others is a true question. So, to make it easier on the committee, we utilize our district core values, which if you're not an employee, are that we embrace our responsibilities, we're passionate about our learning, we are student-focused and relationship-driven, and we celebrate and find strength in our diversity. We compared these characteristics to the examples provided to us by the recipients' peers, which if you're unfamiliar with the process, a nomination packet comes to us from your peers in the election of those individuals to be recognized. Then it goes to your supervisor to be reviewed, and then they forward on their recommendations. Since many of us in the committee do not know very many of the support staff, it's the stories that are provided by your peers which are inspirational. Therefore, our committee is hopeful that you will be as impressed as we were when we reviewed this information and finally came up with 5. So with that being said, thank you and congratulations to our 5 finalists.
Thank you, Mr. Blackburn. Sorry. Whoops. Okay, so here's instruction time for our 5 finalists for the Beyond and Above Award. As soon as you see your video come on the screen, make your way up to the stage where you'll greet Superintendent Perry. You'll get a certificate and you'll shake his hand, and then you can go back to your table. We got that? We good? All right, well, let's look at our first finalists for Beyond and Above Awards. Rhodes Elementary's Jason Cleghorn is described by his colleague Jennifer Jones as a true Rhodes team player and always willing to step in where needed. Working at the school for the past 5.5 years as a behavior tech, Jason builds relationships with students who help him perform his job at a higher level than expected. Principal Beth Johnson says Jason is proactively engaged with students who have higher behavioral needs, and he works with his coworkers to set up good structures to make students successful. Nominator Jennifer Jones describes Jason's efforts perfectly. I cannot imagine our school without Mr. C. Jason shows patience, compassion, kindness, and service daily as a member of Team Rhodes. When Arrow Springs Early Childhood Center Principal Julie Wallace moved to her new site, custodian Karen Harris was busy cleaning, organizing, and strategically placing instructional items on a book cart. I was amazed and impressed at her level of concern for things, said Julie. She greets the students during arrival time, and she helps open car doors when there is a rush or when a staff member is absent. Teacher Christy Damp describes Karen as dependable, efficient, and always willing to help out with anything when needed. Meredith Ernst says the phrase "not my job" is not in her vocabulary. Karen is a true blessing to our school. Congrats. Co-worker Linda Allen describes Huda Lobadawi Omar as our student whisperer. As a behavior tech at Centennial Middle School, Huda brings genuine kindness and patience to the student body, able to balance firmness and holding students to the same high expectations as other students, while bringing a calm reinforcement and positive encouragement that keeps some of the most challenging students moving forward. As Ms. Allen states, she listens to them with unconditional caring and offers a perspective, encouraging them to think of others rather than their own troubles. Ms. Omar displays kindness, a gentle spirit of acceptance, and an abundance of patience with spending time with these students. Eric Robles Madera came to the maintenance department in August of 2019, and in the words of Supervisor Roger Shepard, he never complains. He never has a negative comment and is always at work. Coming from a farming industry background in Colorado, Eric has experience working with heavy equipment, working outdoors, and having a great can-do attitude. When snow came in February, Eric was on the snow team and plowed snow for 6 days in a row. Mr. Shepard says he kept his plow down and did not complain. He was a real trooper. Mr. Shepard sums up nicely. He is well on his way to a long and rewarding career at BAPS. Derek Younger works campus security for BA Options Academy. In the words of Principal Shannon Turner, Mr. Younger is so much more than just a security guard. In addition to making the safety of students his top priority, Derek has also reached out to students by teaching them how to play chess and helping with social and emotional issues. As a musician himself, he also started a music program at Options, writing grants to help acquire various musical instruments, inviting the students to learn and play along with him. As Ms. Turner says, he has impacted the way we do things at Options and has changed the lives of Broken Arrow Options students. Stage for he is going to announce the winner of the Beyond and Above Awards. But let's face it, All 5 finalists are winners. Let's give them one more big round of applause.
All right, I wasn't scheduled for this, but all right. Here we go. Derek Younger, will you come on down?
So many pictures, Derek. And Derek, would you like to say something? Of course you would. Come on over here.
I didn't prepare anything. Thank you, all of you. Appreciate it. Honestly, I don't. I didn't expect any of this. So I don't think I did anything out of the ordinary or spectacular. But somebody did. So thank you. I can say 100%. I've had some good jobs, but this is the best environment I've ever worked for. This is the most support I've ever had from any team. Our principal, Ms. Turner, is amazing. You have no idea how good it feels to hear other people come up and hear that you've complimented me or went out of your way to speak well of me to other people. Jeff Martin, thank you for giving me an opportunity here. Took a chance, so you never know what you're going to get when you hire somebody. So, so anyway, thank you. I appreciate it.
I love putting people on the spot. And once again, we want to thank Flint Co. for sponsoring that award tonight. And you guys may have a seat. But you're going to be back up here soon, trust me. Okay, now we're up to our site Teachers of the Year. And so what we're going to do is we're going to show you 3 different sections of videos. And when you see your video, same. Oh, wait, I lied. You guys are coming back up here. It's like a Catholic wedding. Up, down, up, down. Come on back. As soon as you see your video pop up, come on back up to the stage, get a picture taken, get your award, shake a hand, and then head on back to your table and get ready to see these amazing finalists. So watch the first video segment for our site Teachers of the Year.
When I was 16, my brother was born, and I spent a lot of time babysitting him and taking care of him after school and during the summer breaks. And that was when I started to learn that I was really interested in children and the way they developed. I decided to go for early childhood development at the University of Arkansas. My patience is something that's really shocked me about my teaching, because going into it, I would never have told myself that I was a patient person. But then going through college and working in the labs with students and then getting in person with them and really getting on my hands and knees and working with them, I started to find that I really was a patient person. And I feel I have a way of getting down to their level and valuing them where they are and their feelings, and letting them know that with me it's a safe place and they can feel how they feel. But I also want to teach them how to better express those feelings. And that in itself takes a lot of time to do. And so you have to be a patient person. You have to be willing to sit with them in those feelings for as long as it takes to teach them the better way. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of time, but it's definitely something that surprised me that I've been able to do and enjoy doing that with them.
So I went back to college as an adult, as a single mom, and went to NSU here in Broken Arrow, and graduated in December of 2015 and found this position in March of 2016. The dream job I didn't know to dream about. We have a program here in Oklahoma called Sooner Start. If kiddos have delays in development, they go through that program, and as soon as they turn 3, they start with the public school. And so no matter what time of year that they turn 3, they'll start my class on their birthday. It's their first step on their journey, and it is such an honor to be their first teacher. So I have kids with autism, I have kids with intellectual disabilities. That's mostly my demographic in the class. Well, my parents both worked with people with special needs when I was growing up as well. My Aunt Kathy, she is a diagnostician in Texas, and she really encouraged me to go into special education. A lot of nonverbal friends, so I have to learn how to listen in other ways without words, and they have taught me so much. They'll be laying on the ground, and so I'll lay down next to them just to see like what's so cool about it down here, and I see it, and they teach me often without any words. It's really a beautiful relationship.
I think I was probably playing teacher with my younger sister, constantly growing up. More than likely I was the teacher. If my sister wouldn't work with me, I had my animals be the students. So I taught at Riverfield Country Day School, and then got my foot into Broken Arrow, which is amazing, love it. I was at Oakcrest for a year, and then after that, that's when the ECCs opened up. And so I've been there, this is our 9th year open, so I've been there this whole time. Everybody is just so close to each other. We lean on each other for advice, wouldn't trade it for anything. A lot of it is so much fun. Like, we do a lot hands-on, whether it be even math or literacy, but just doing those fun science STEM activities. We'll study apples, and we'll learn about adding baking soda and vinegar and like those hypotheses. So even at this young age, being able to do those hands-on science STEM activities, and I just love how everything is so new to them. They have that love of learning, and being able to be that first stepping stone with them at this young age, it's amazing. This is my school family. Everybody tells me, because they're like, oh, I could never do pre-K. I'm like, it's easy. Pretty much all you have to do is, if you'll sing, they think you're singing and playing, and they'll do anything for you. You never know what you're gonna get with them. And they're so open and honest. And they're just love for, not necessarily for learning yet, but just love for life in general. And the fact that I get to pour into that and add the love of learning on top of that, I really love that. So I was developmentally delayed little. So I had 2 kindergarten teachers, but both of them I absolutely loved. They taught me that no matter how different you are, you always have a place, and to love learning, and really encouraged everybody no matter what level they were at. Our principal is Dana DeFries, and she has worked really hard this year to help our culture be a bit more positive and be unifying. She's implemented where we walk around to each other's doors, and we've got a stack of Post-it notes outside the door so we can leave them a note of encouragement. Before we had Dana DeFries, Barbara Jones was our principal. She really helped me learn what it was to be a part of the Broken Arrow family. She said a lot of what other teachers have to be taught is just natural in you, and it's just instilled in you, and you don't have to be taught. She said you are just a teacher by nature and a teacher by heart.
So I started at kindergarten, but when I got to Broken Arrow, I went to 2nd grade. And I absolutely love second grade because they are so excited to learn, and that makes me very excited. So I live in Cleveland, which is about an hour one way, and Broken Arrow just has a culture that I really love. They put the kids first, and that's what I was looking for. And they have instructional specialists that will help you in any way. And that's not something I've ever found in my other schools in Colorado and in Arkansas. But we moved all around, and then we got to Oklahoma again. And the one thing that always sticks out to me is that I have kids from 3 years ago that stop by my room every single day to give me a hug, to tell me bye, have a good weekend. And so I feel very honored that they chose me as a teacher that, you know, they want to share their life with even 3 years past.
I grew up in Chakota, Oklahoma, and from childhood on, I knew I always wanted to be an educator. Relationships have always been super important to me. I had some really great teachers in my past, and I wanted to impact lives like I was impacted when I was younger. I love first graders because they're so innocent and sweet. They still love hugs, but they need you. It's such an important year because reading is the foundation for learning, and we see so much growth in the first grade year. As long as we make it fun and we work hard to make our rotations fun, and I work really hard on keeping things fresh and new for my class. I love the team that I work with. Many have come and gone, but I feel like I work with a really strong team this year. Bridget Powell is my principal, and she is so supportive. She always finds the best in me, and she believes in me. She always has, and she voices that to me, and it means a lot.
My passion has always been health and physical education. I really feel lucky to have this job. It's fun to come to work every day and just teach kids like the foundation of fitness and how to live a healthy lifestyle for the rest of their life, and to learn the connection between working out and learning their core subjects too. We try to use things that are popular with the kids and bring those into our games, things that ignite excitement for them. We have in between 700 and 800 students in our school, so that's a lot of little kids. And I wouldn't change that for the world. I love teaching those early learners who they come in, they're so excited, they love to learn, they always have a smile, they always have a story for you. So it's really, really a fun time to have them. So like, not everyone can say their job is fun, but my job is fun. The people I work with, the kids, the families, you get to know a lot of the families. It's really just a fun place to be. I really love Country Lane Primary.
With third graders, they're old enough to where they can be depended on to do things and to get it done and to listen, but they're not old enough to where they're like too cool for school. Because it's such an incremental year of like kids still needing to learn how to read and then kids learning to use reading to learn. It's just kind of cool to be in that spot where I have to become a better and more effective instructor.
Which of the words we learned last time are particularly fun to talk about? Would you say it is customary, energized, or appetizing? Thumbs up when you know.
In my class I have gifted, learners, and I have on-level students, and I have EL students, and so the mix is very, basically like we meet them where they are and then we push them so much farther than I would ever be able to do in a typical cluster class. So when they produce something that they're proud of and they're like, look, I did this, or whatever, you could see it, they're super excited. But for me as a teacher, I'm like, are they still using the skill? Yes, they are. Okay, we're fine with the excitement. That's kind of how that works. So if they're still learning and having fun, that's my favorite day.
Grew up in Broken Arrow. My parents grew up in Broken Arrow as well and graduated from Broken Arrow, so we are VA Tigers through and through. Creekwood Elementary has an amazing community. Everyone supports one another whenever someone's in need, or we're always there for the kids. I do small groups all day long, so I work with kindergarten through 5th grade in both reading and math. The door is always open, so it's very fast-paced, which is how I like it.
Good job. And let's go over our sounds. All right. A says ah, E says eh, I says I, O says ah, U says
Good job. One of my favorite things about being a teacher is having that relationship with kids. Those kids come in and we work on specific goals. And a lot of the times they don't have that confidence. And my goal is to help also build that confidence, because the confidence makes a difference between whether they're going to be successful or not. So when they come into my room, I really like to invest myself and help make them feel like they understand it better, even if it may be a little bit difficult for them. I had a girl just recently, she came in and she was like, Miss Hess, I've got this. She's like, I'm so smart. And I'm like, yes, you are, girl. That's my favorite part of the job, is seeing their success, having them feel the success, and knowing that, they've got this.
Okay, let's give her a cheer. You ready? Woo.
Love Highland Park. Highland Park is a home school. It is our happy place. It is such a dream to work there. I don't ever plan on leaving Highland Park. The staff is amazing. I've learned so much. Coming into Highland Park, I was a first-year public school teacher, and my team just helped me soar along. I just love the age. 5- and 6-year-olds are a lot of fun. I am very play-based while still using our curriculum and getting those academics in. My kids have literacy centers, and everything that we do involves some learning aspect, but they're playing the whole time, and they absolutely love that. My kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Holzman, she taught me and my sister. I have a sister that's a year younger than me, and she just, I don't know, it's just something about her. She was always welcoming. I remember her long skirts and her long hair. And from that day on, I always wanted to be a teacher. I'm also the oldest child in my family. I have a younger sister and then a half brother, and just, I'm always the leader. And we always played school, and I was always the teacher. My mom put up a board in our home that was like calendar, and just really influenced me to want to become a passionate educator.
So there is a process, a very fun process that goes into selecting Teacher of the Year, and then the interview process that goes into bringing them all here to this room today. And there's one human being here that can attest to all of this. So I'd love to welcome to the stage the Executive Director of Elementary Education, Miss Jennifer Peterson.
Good evening. There is a Japanese proverb that says, better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. That is why all of you all are here, because you exemplify all of the qualities of great teachers. This is one part of my job that I absolutely love, is I get to be a part of this process that culminates tonight and recognizing some of our best teachers, and then recognizing the one site or district teacher of the year. So for the families, I know the teachers that are here are very familiar with this process because it started back in October. So in October, the sites, the peers of the teachers that are here nominated them. So they were recognized for all of the wonderful work that they are doing by their peers. That process culminates in the site teachers of the year. They are announced at their sites in October. And then I guess I would say they're so excited and they get to come and meet with me and I get to tell them all the work that they get to do for the next 4 months. So in November, we meet with them and they have to write a portfolio. And when I say they have to write a portfolio, it is probably, they are binders that they write. And really, it is their professional story and the story of who they are and what education means to them. They turn that portfolio in February, and then we have 2 separate committees in the district. One committee that is a cross-section of all of the teachers, or I should say both of those committees are. One reads all of those portfolios, and the other interviews those teachers. And then from the scores, we combine the scores utilizing a rubric, and that's how we identify our Teacher of the Year. I have to recognize those teachers that served on those committees, our portfolio committees, and they have to give up 2 to 3 days to read those portfolios because they're actually reading 27 portfolios. So it is a lot of work. Catherine Thomas from the high school, Margie Buchanan from Oliver Middle School, Avery Chambers from the Freshman Academy, Sarah Wimmer from Vandiver, Lindsay Schoenberner from Highland Park, Laura Cricky from Spring Creek, and Lauren House from Liberty all served on our portfolio committee. And our interview committee was Ashley Christensen from Aspen Creek, Michelle McCarver from Rosewood, Lauren Stumbo from Park Lane ECC, Stacy Watkins from Country Lane Intermediate, Jennifer Anthony from Centennial, Lisa Dixon from the high school, Abby Tanner from Oneida, and Haley Clark from Sequoia Middle School. We could not identify our Teacher of the Year without the work of these teachers as well. So if you don't mind giving them a round of applause. So I just want to thank all of those teachers that are a part of the process and all of the teachers that are sitting here tonight that are our site Teachers of the Year, because you are making a difference in the lives not only of students, but also the lives of the teachers that you work with and then the parents that you work with daily. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. I had a teacher stop me out here earlier and said, I would not want to get up there tonight and host. I don't know how you do it. And I looked her square in the eye and said, I don't want to look 30 pairs of eyes that are third graders looking back at me. I'm done. No, you guys are amazing. All right, it's time for our next group of videos. So yes, come on back up. Same rules apply. You see your video, come on up here, handshake, picture, return back to your table, and let's honor our next round of Site Teacher of the Year nominees.
I'm from Nebraska, and I originally had started my speech pathology career in the hospital setting. So I did outpatient, inpatient, and then we moved to Edmond, and I worked in middle school and elementary schools there. And then when I got married, my husband and I, we moved to Broken Arrow. When I first started college, I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist, but then I tried to take some of those biology classes, and I was like, nope, that's not happening. And so then when I was working at a physical therapy clinic back home that summer, they were like, you should really try speech. And I was like, okay, what do I have to lose? So I went and I was at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. So I went back and I took speech classes, and I fell in love ever since. Just being recognized for all of the work I do with a variety of students. Some people don't always understand what a speech pathologist is. They think we only do speech. And so being recognized that we do incorporate overall communication, the articulation piece, the language strategies, the vocabulary. So just very thankful that they see me for my whole job and not just work on the R. We are just one family. The climate and the culture at Leisure Park is unlike any other school I've been at. If anyone needs help or assistance, everyone's willing to jump in. And Janet just has a love for teaching, for her staff, unlike any other principal I've ever had.
One of my favorite sounds is when you've just taught and taught and taught and you're trying your best to teach them a different way to do something, and you finally hear, oh, and I'm like, got one, you know, they got that. I like that, and I like the feeling of teaching. I teach 4th grade, and I think it's a wonderful grade because they already know how to read, they already know how to do math, and I feel like I'm their cheerleader, just cheering them on, here we go. I always try to make learning fun and easy. Let me show you another way. I watch my kids, no matter how old, if it was my first class to this class, when they walk across the stage, if it's graduation or if it's you know, just an assembly, I'm like, oh, I taught that one, oh, I taught that one. I'm so proud of all of them. I just love to see their life and how they're growing up. And the ones that were pilots, they drew planes all the time in 2nd grade. It's just my passion. I think it's my calling in life is to be a teacher here. And one of the most impressive things was my first day to come to Broken Arrow. The first person to speak said, you're home, welcome home. This is home. And I thought, I'm home. And I had a little tear because I thought, this is where I'm supposed to be.
I actually grew up in Broken Arrow from 4th through 12th grade. I was part of Pride of Broken Arrow, show choir, jazz choir, theater production, basically a really big arts kid. As a high school student, I had a lot of teachers that surrounded me that always told me that I'd be good at education. I didn't really believe them at first, so people like Justin Rosser, Amanda Westcott, Penny Crawford, all those different people really just influenced me in so many great ways. And then, Darren Davis as well. Just all those people who just really had an impact on my learning. It's still crazy because we haven't had a normal year yet. So still teaching in the middle of the pandemic and learning these different things can be a little crazy. I have a really amazing team, and just knowing what I love and what I have come from through BA and trying to frame it in a new way that fits our kids better. So I mean, I've learned just to be patient, most of all, because these kids deserve to be heard out and listened to and just given every opportunity that they can through any obstacle that may come their way. It's kind of still shocking because I didn't really expect it, but it's something that I couldn't imagine myself doing anything else. I mean, these kids and the way that they light up when they do music and just the stuff that they've learned over the past year and a half has been absolutely incredible. And I feel like I've been a part of a really amazing family at Linwood, and yeah, they've just been really welcoming, and I couldn't be in a better place.
I've been to Oakcrest maybe around 15 years. I like it that it's small, a smaller school. We are a close-knit family. We help each other out. Jana she really wants us to be there for the kids. She wants us to make sure that we celebrate their successes, and I've always felt comfortable talking to her. My sister, when she went to NSU full-time, that's when I quit my job, and I went to school full-time, and we went together. And we've always been very close, and we can go to each other, even still today. She teaches here in Broken Arrow too, and we always bounce ideas off of each other. We lift each other up and keep going. She's one of the reasons why, probably the main reason why I did not take my name off this time, because she said, Sherry, you know, people believe in you, and you need to do for yourself what you do for your kids. It's really an honor to represent Oakcrest because I have stayed there because of the students and because of the faculty and because of the family. And I've had opportunities where I could have left, but I don't. It's home.
I absolutely love fifth graders. One of the things that I love is trying to excite them about what they're learning, to get them interested in learning. But more importantly is that they know that I care about them and that our classroom is also a family. They need to know that I care about what's going on. I want to help them with their struggles. We have extra time that I've scheduled for those that are really struggling, small groups that we've scheduled just extra time to go through. Let's work through these math problems. Let's work through whatever questions that you have. Let me show you how to get to what you need to work on. I want my kids to know it's safe to make mistakes and it's okay, they're learning experiences. I've had good teachers and bad teachers when I was in school, and I don't want to be the teacher that I thought was a bad teacher. I want to model after the good teachers, and I've worked with coworkers that are great role models and have great ideas that I know I have borrowed from and just taken those and made them my own. And that was probably the best advice I've ever heard, is make it your own and do what you know and do what you love. So I have to adjust to different learning styles and working with that and understanding more learning styles. So I'm always trying to learn more to help my kids become more successful.
I grew up in Broken Arrow. I went to BA for kindergarten through 12th grade, so I'm a lifer. It's home. It's where my husband and I have chosen that we'll stay. We want to raise our daughter in Broken Arrow. It has a small town feel, but lends itself to a lot of opportunities for people to grow and find, their unique niches, and it's just a really cool community. I was led to teaching because my mom was an educator, as was my grandma. And so I got to see the impact that they made on lives, and that kind of inspired me. My first job was at Leisure Park Elementary in first grade. I went back to school and have since gotten my master's, and now I'm at Rosewood. Getting to open a school and kind of be a part of creating the culture in the community with staff and the students and families has been really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I've taught first grade, third grade, and now I'm in fourth, and I feel like it is the sweet spot. Fourth graders are really starting to find out who they are. Their identities are kind of flourishing, and you get to see them grow in a different way than you do, I think, with the younger students. The content in fourth grade is challenging. It's a pretty big jump. They start working on multi-digit multiplication, long division, skills that we know are important to understand, but they're really complex for young kids. It's more than just learning. You see their confidence boost. Their internal dialogue is really powerful. They'll be like, Miss Arnold, I'm so good at this. I just think I love fourth grade.
When I graduated high school, I really didn't think that I wanted to go on in school. I wanted to go have adventure and see the world, so I joined the Air Force. And then when it was time for me to move on, I took some college classes and kind of fell in love with education. My first class was a U.S. history class, and my expectations were really low. I didn't think that I would enjoy it because it was my least favorite subject in high school. The teacher just changed everything for me. She made history so interesting. She taught it like it was a story, and she made everything come to life, and she just made everything connect for me. So for the first time ever, I was fascinated. I fell in love with history, and even more than her passion that she brought, she also treated her students so well. She treated us just that we were important to her, like we were people, and I just remember feeling good in that class to the point that it actually inspired me, and I changed my major. I wanted to bring that passion, that love for learning and that love for education that I found in that room, and I wanted to go and take that and and share it with other people.
Art has always been special to me because it's part of who I am. It's expressing yourself. Creativity is inside of you. And teaching art is more than doing art. It helps that I'm an artist and that I understand art, the frustrations, the struggle with perfectionism, and the different enemies that come with being able to put your inner self on a piece of paper or into an object. But teaching art, especially at the elementary level, is for everyone, even if you're not an artist, to learn how to recognize some things about yourself and be able to express it. Timber Ridge is 5 years old, and I got to go in at the very first year that they started. I was a 4th grade teacher then, and then I became an art teacher there. So Timber Ridge will always have just fond memories for me of when I started being an art teacher. But also the teachers there were family, and it is wonderful how we work together. And especially as a specials teacher and art teacher, we get to see all the students. It is just so sweet and true to know that just being nominated is the honor, because they truly mean what they say. And when they honor you with Teacher of the Year, they're truly respecting and admiring your job, and could say the same thing for all the teachers at my site. They're amazing teachers.
I think I like teaching math because you get to see the light bulbs come on as all of a sudden they figure out, like, oh, this is how fractions work. Oh, it just all of a sudden makes sense. I love working in small groups. My kids still love playing with like all the manipulatives and things like that. So watching their light bulbs turn on and watching them just figure it out is my favorite. I love the community feel at Vandiver. We're a small school, so we know every student there, every teacher, and it's just a tight-knit family environment. We have great parents that support us 100%. The last 2 years have been hard, but I've learned to work closer with parents, and I feel like it's changed my philosophy on a team approach, because I've had to communicate more with parents. I've had to show them how to help their kids. We've done a whole lot more small group lessons because the live big Zooms weren't working. So I learned how to do a better job individualizing my teaching and really partnering with the community more. So even though we were separated, I feel like I created more of a bond than I ever had before.
When I was little, I actually struggled in reading. And so my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Graves, is my favorite teacher of all time. And she helped me love reading and love education in general. And so I knew I loved teaching and wanted to be a teacher when I grew up. I started teaching 3rd grade and realizing I had 3rd graders that struggled in reading too. And I just didn't know how to meet their needs. And so ended up going back to school and getting my master's in reading. Started out working with struggling readers, and I've loved it ever since.
But it's when we put them together to make a contraction that says, I'm. She says, I'm furry too. There you go.
It's that one-on-one intensive intervention that helps them make leaps and bounds of progress. And it's really cool because you see the progress every single week.
You did a great job right there.
And so we're able to work with kids and get them caught up to the average of their peers over 20 weeks' time. So the last couple of years with COVID, definitely the challenge has been that kids are further behind. And they started out further behind than they have in previous years. And this year, in spite of those losses that we've had, they still made that growth and were able to do really well and catch up to their peers. And so that was really great to see that in our kids.
Second round of nominees. One more big round of applause. And may I say too, are our teachers not well-spoken? every single, just unbelievable. I could take some lessons from you. So we had mentioned sponsors earlier in the night and how our event could not be possible without them, and we're about to bring one up to talk to you tonight, a sponsor that we are very happy to partner with. It's the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation, and speaking on behalf of them tonight, the president of the foundation, please welcome to the stage, Mr. Frankie Catlett.
First of all, thank you very much for having the foundation here and allowing us to speak. But looking at those videos, man, isn't it amazing to have your kids in school in Broken Arrow, guys? I am very happy to have both of my children go through Broken Arrow, and also proud to be a Broken Arrow teacher. Isn't that amazing what our teachers do? What a great tool to get more teachers into Broken Arrow, get more people into the community. First of all, I'm Frankie Catlett, president of the Broken Arrow Public Schools Foundation. If you do not know about the foundation, we're an organization of 30 elected board members with roughly 15 supporting members. The foundation is comprised of city leadership, from engineers to lawyers to bankers to even former teachers, all who support the Broken Arrow school system. In a nutshell, we work through various activities, avenues to raise money for Broken Arrow Public Schools. Our goal is to enhance the classroom experience for our students in BA. We want to help you in delivering a lasting impression on your students. This last year, we were fortunate to help the school system with BizTown, educational toys with the pre-K centers, Read to Succeed, which you'll be hearing about that shortly, that will be benefiting second graders, and our ever-popular teacher grants. Since June, we have given over $150,000 this year. This is more than what we've given in previous years. Thank you. My team, which I am proud to represent, worked diligently on making sure we can raise money to go back into public schools to make sure that our kids are getting the best education and supporting you in the classroom. With the teacher grants, we got opportunities to visit sites and witness different roles teachers have in classrooms for their students. This is one of the most rewarding moments for a foundation member to be able to see the impact a teacher has in the classroom. During these challenging times in education, it is just not about the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s we've learned. An educator's role has transformed into so much more. They are counselors trying to help students meet their emotional needs. They are social workers finding ways to meet some of students' basic needs. They are coaches encouraging students to do their very best. They are problem solvers. And they are partners with parents in helping raise children in the community. With all these roles, it can be challenging to stay focused on the true reward of education, which is our children's well-being and success. In a profession that seems to be getting less and less respect, but expected to perform higher and higher, I see our teachers in our community answering to those calls, staying focused on the one true thing, our children. The teachers in this audience, as well as your sites, ensure the rewarding days are definitely outweighing the challenging days. It is rewarding when we enter the classrooms to see teachers connecting with students, teachers energizing their classrooms, and teachers ensuring that we have a future for us. We are grateful as a foundation to be able to partner with teachers in the community. We believe it is an honor to be a Broken Arrow educator, being able to teach, shape, and love our students day in, day out, year in, year out. In appreciation of what the teachers do, the foundation awards each site with $100, and the 5 finalists will receive $750, and the winner $2,500. In closing, I'd like to thank you for what you do with our community, most important, our children, and for what our future is of Broken Arrow. Thank you guys very much.
At the conclusion of tonight's event, if you're a site teacher of the year, you can meet the foundation up here, and they will have an envelope with that money in it for you. So yeah. I'm also going to brag just a little bit on the foundation, and he had mentioned this about BizTown, and all of you know what BizTown is. They literally sent every 5th grader in the district to BizTown this year. So round of applause for our wonderful foundation. It is now time for our final segment of videos for our site nominees for Teacher of the Year. So let's get started with our final round.
This is my 14th year in my teaching career. After I had my son, I just knew that I needed to come back home to my hometown, and I wanted to raise my son here in this great community. So my background is reading specialist. I love helping to empower students with their writing and their reading skills, to see them be able to accomplish something that would be like a hard skill, something that they didn't think that they could do, or reach a certain reading level. It's just so rewarding to watch them do things that they thought were too hard for them. When I was wanting to make this switch to Broken Arrow Public Schools, I had Centennial on my mind. I'd researched it and I said, if I'm going to switch to Broken Arrow Schools, I want to be at Centennial. So I know that I'm at home with all the caring teachers that I work with. My colleagues and my administration are so supportive, and we work together so well. So happy to represent Centennial.
Octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Mes, 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 mes. Aplauso!
Teaching middle schooler Spanish is different from teaching high schooler Spanish. The mindset, the brain development, and the personalities are very different. But they really enjoy games and music and movement. If they can get their heads into that kind of activities, learning a language is a lot of fun. What I like a lot better about modern teaching is the layering in of technology, and there are so many resources that are available. Like when I get a new group of readers in and they show that they need help with cause and effect, or they need help with sequencing, I can hit the internet and find so many fun resources to add to what we're doing. I can take any vocabulary set and plug them in, and the kids enjoy practicing and studying. It's not like 20 years ago when the only thing you do is like write your vocabulary words 20 times and try to get it figured out. It just takes a lot of the boring out for the kids nowadays.
And we have first place +3.
If I give you $25, how much is going to be left after 15? After you spend 15?
I know.
Izzy.
10.
Good job, 10. I teach level 3 autism, and so I have 6th through 8th grade in my classroom all day, and there are a variety of levels in that, but we do all of their core subjects and also a life skills elective with them. So we do a lot of going out into gen ed classrooms and talking to them about disabilities, about autism, inclusion, things like that. I like to spend a lot of time in that capacity, just trying to educate. And 9 times out of 10, once you talk to a kid about it and have an open dialogue, it takes away a lot of that, I guess, just miscommunication or misinformation that they might have about our kids, and then they're like so accepting and loving. I always had just kind of a desire to work with kids with special needs growing up. My uncle had disabilities and he was like my best friend, and so I just was always drawn to that. I saw how he was treated in the community versus how he was treated at home, and I think that that made me want to make a change. I actually did an internship for occupational therapy at the Little Lighthouse, and while I was there I realized how much of an impact that the teachers there had. I could just see the growth in the kids from even week to week there, and I think that that's kind of what helped me narrow my focus and decide that teaching is what I wanted to do, especially with special ed, so that I could impact those kids.
I think what makes a teacher the most successful is the teacher she surrounds herself with. And at Oneida Ridge, I really feel like we're a family and we all support each other and we care about each other. We care about each other's successes, we care about what's going on in the classroom, we care about their home life. When I'm out and my son is sick and I come back the next day, like I have 5 teachers in my room checking on me and asking how things are and what's going on and how's my baby. And my 8th grade students are so uncomfortable and so confused, and they feel like, I love that a kid can come to me during passing and just spill their guts and talk to me. And I feel like not only am I their teacher, but I'm their friend. And they need someone at this age that they can comfortably go to and talk to and tell everything to and say, you know, I'm sad right now, I'm not having a good day, I had a rough time at home. And I feel like that I'm that person for a lot of these kids. I talk about the productive struggle that we have in math, and if you're struggling through the problem, you're learning through the problem. And so every time I start to see that student shut down, I say, hang on, don't shut down, ask for help, let's talk about it, let's have the struggle together so that we can persevere and get through this and learn what it is we're doing incorrectly. I struggled in math too. I teach it differently, let's look at it differently, let's figure out how we can be successful even though this isn't the easiest subject for us.
My name is Emily Sullivan, and I've been at Sequoia Middle School for 5 years now. I chose to teach middle school because I can relate to them and kind of help them through some of the struggles that they might have in middle school. And then I can just help shape them into nice, kind humans. I think before you even start teaching curriculum, you just have to get to know the students, and I like to start out with at least 2 weeks just getting to know the students, doing activities that help bond the students together as well as with me and just form that relationship first. I love the staff at Sequoia. They are right away from day one, even at my internship, they just treated me like I was family already. I didn't feel like an intern or feel like a substitute, I just felt like I was one of them. I feel like I can go to any of my coworkers, even if I'm not in the same hallway, and just ask for help and not feel judged, and they'll help me through whatever I need. Definitely my mom, she's been a teacher for at least 15 years now, I don't know the exact number, but I always helped her in her classroom, setting it up in the summer, and that's really where I got my love for teaching, was from helping out my mom's classroom.
This is my 6th year teaching, and I love teaching 9th grade because it's an age that's really fun. They are, not middle schoolers anymore, but they are not quite, seniors ready to leave. They're just figuring themselves out, so they're a lot of fun. I think taking the time to listen to them is one of the most important things because, they're in that stage where that's all they want to do. They want to be heard, and I think not only just taking the time to listen to their life stories and what's going on with them, but also taking the time to listen to what they need when it comes to learning. I'm always trying to, consider their perspectives and what's best for them, what's working for them, because I don't know unless I ask, and I feel like that's often forgotten. So that's a huge piece of the relationships that I build with my students. I teach Algebra 1, and I loved math growing up. I always enjoyed it, and I realize now that, of course, not every student feels the same way, and so being able to teach that and just, give students confidence in it, help them feel less anxious about a subject that often is surrounded by that feeling, that's my goal. Really take advantage of the time we have in the classroom and because I think, honestly, as much as the kids won't admit it, they love being in the classroom, and being on distance learning is not their favorite thing at all. So when we are together in the classroom, I think we're able to just truly embrace each other a lot more, embrace, the environment that we have. I think it's taught us all to just be a little bit more grateful for that classroom environment and the connections that we have with each other when we're together.
Been teaching at the Broken Arrow Options Academy for 4 years now. Before that, I taught at Country Lane Intermediate and Liberty Elementary School for 9 years. My father was a PE teacher. My mother was a music teacher, so it kind of was embedded in me from the get-go. I just remember when I was sitting In the gym in elementary school, I was in 3rd grade, and in walked a woman PE teacher wearing the sweatsuit and with a smile on her face, and I was like, I want to be her. And just ever since that moment, it was the first time I've had a woman PE teacher. Mostly the games, some of them are the same, and everybody still loves playing dodgeball and kickball, and it makes it great for the team camaraderie in class. They need somebody that cares but has lines drawn. You don't let them cross the line, but you know that you care about them. During COVID, most of our time was like, hey, are you okay? Are you getting to eat? Do you have a place to stay? Can you just please respond back to me? They're touching hearts. Some of them I've had since elementary school. Shanna's done a great job of bringing the culture in and allowing us to teach in the fashion that the kids need. She's getting some things done maintenance-wise with the school. It gives the kids more respect for the school when they come. It's giving us more hope that we matter for the teachers and for the students when you do that.
Well, I grew up in Poto in southeastern Oklahoma, and my first teaching job was actually in Broken Arrow. I taught at Haskell Middle School, started in 1985, so this is my 37th year of teaching. I've always only taught math. I was a math major. That's all I wanted to teach was math. My father's great aunts were teachers, and my dad used to always say that I had it in my blood. He had a great aunt that was a math teacher, and he always talked about how she taught baseball stats and did all that, and she related that to math, and he thought that that was great. And his grandfather, who was their brother, the aunts that were teachers, he was instrumental in getting a school started in their little rural community. And so my dad just always, encouraged me to be, he's the one that encouraged me first to be a teacher when I was struggling with what do I want to do. I mean, these 10th graders that I have now, they all know what they want to do, and I'm like in 10th grade, I didn't have any idea what I wanted to do. And so when I came to that point where I had to decide what I was going to do with my life, my dad is saying, you ought to be a teacher, it's in your blood. And so one of my great aunts was actually an educator for 50 years, so I'm not gonna make it to 50, I don't think. I'm shooting for at least 40.
I come from a family of educators. My mom was a teacher, so I made the decision when I was in 5th grade that I wanted to be a teacher. I just love helping other people. So this is my 2nd year in BA. Right now I'm at Vanguard, and then before I was at BAFA teaching biology, and then I taught for 3 years before at a middle school in Southern California. One of my passions is kind of exploring the unknown, and this was like a perfect opportunity. So I first met Emily Lim, who is, if you've ever met her, she's incredible, and she's just super passionate, and that passion was something that I definitely wanted to be a part of. And then it kind of just all came together when I met JJ, and then a privilege to work with the people I work with. So the kids at Vanguard are innovators, and they eat, sleep, and breathe that word. They are out-of-the-box thinkers. We challenge them to not only know something, but go for mastery on everything. What is really cool about the kids is that they're just a really fun, interesting, unique group of kids. And it's really cool about Vanguard is that we're such a small, tight unit, and our philosophy is people first, that I feel like I really get to know every student by their name, face, and story, and they get to know me really well as well. Really, the principles that we follow is, and what makes the school so exciting is that it's really a non-traditional way to apply what we're learning in a really unique and interesting way to kind of look at these big overarching ideas and how we can all work together. I am nothing without my colleagues, because every single day I don't work in isolation ever. I co-teach all day long with Austin Sweet, who's an amazing math teacher. I also work with Ms. Spencer and Mr. Sanseveri, who are also great teachers for history and English. I cannot give them enough credit. I am who I am today, and I'm more successful because of the lessons and things that I have taken from them.
I'm from Arizona, but I've been in Broken Arrow since 5th grade. I grew up as a Linwood Roadrunner and ended up right here at Central Middle School, North Intermediate, and then eventually the senior high. I spent 17 years after high school in the financial industry, working as a banker and stockbroker, and at age 37 decided to come back and get my education degree, and it's been the best decision ever to come back and end up at Broken Arrow High School. So my student teaching experience started with Jonelle Wilson. We were teaching pre-AP Algebra 2, and Jonelle has become one of my best friends, and our department head, Jill Taylor, is one of the best that I've ever met. Not only is she a great teacher, she's a great leader for our department. I love teaching math courses because as a high school student myself, I struggled with math, and so I had great teachers at the high school that were able to get me to where I needed to be, and so I want to be that for those students. One of the most influential teachers in my life was my grandfather. He spent over 30 years teaching middle school math on the Navajo reservations in Arizona, and so for him, it wasn't just about teaching. There were oftentimes he had to intervene in home lives that were less than ideal. I remember him telling me 2-3 times a week he was providing meals for students that didn't have any. And so he viewed his students not just as his students, they were his children. And so I take that same mentality into my classroom. Yeah, math is good, math is important, math can even be interesting, but what drives me day in, day out is I want to meet the needs of my students first.
I've been teaching at Broken Arrow High School since 1990. The last probably 7 years I've taught AP English, and before that I was completely on level, sometimes honors, sometimes pre-AP, and I also teach SAT prep. A lot of AP students think or feel that it's impossible to pass the AP test. And what I help them do is make them realize that the impossible is possible. And it's so probably one of the best feelings when they come back in the summer and thank me for, giving them the skills and the knowledge to pass that test. Embracing adversity and getting out of your comfort zone is when you grow the most. And I have to convince my AP kids, you're in here and you're growing each and every day. You don't even realize it. So just knowing that those kids, who write those notes that say, thank you for believing in me, you're the first teacher who ever believed in me. I mean, that's what I strive for, because every kid has potential, and to see them shine and learn how to just let go and be themselves and not worry about being perfect, to just kind of let it go and trust that I, as your teacher, am gonna get you there, and we're gonna work together to make it happen.
And let's give all of our final nominees one more big round of applause. And for you, Teachers of the Year, who just saw your video, Greg and his wonderful team at the ArrowVision will be putting those out for on YouTube, so you'll be able to enjoy them and actually watch them. I know you tried to watch them as you walked up. That's a little hard. So yeah, those will be available very soon for you. So there's one more person we need to recognize tonight before we move on, and that is our current reigning Teacher of the Year for the district for 2021. She's an amazing human being. I've had the privilege of getting to know her this year, and she's a class act. So please welcome to the stage your outgoing District Teacher of the Year, Miss Michelle McCarver.
Good evening, Broken Arrow educators, staff, leadership, family, and friends. What an honor it is to be a part of this celebration tonight along with all of you. Our district-wide initiative this year has been Come Unity, which has served as a great illustration of what all of you do to serve our Broken Arrow students. If you are not in the schools, you are clearly supporting those of us who are, or else you wouldn't be here tonight, right? If you are an educator, a support staff member, an admin, well, you are truly the hands and feet of the good work that is going on within our district. All of us working together and supporting each other like a giant pyramid as we raise our Broken Arrow students from the ground up. It has been a huge honor to represent Broken Arrow as the District Teacher of the Year this last year. There are truly no words to describe how humble I have felt and abundantly grateful I have been for this opportunity. It is certainly a year that I will never forget. I'd like to personally thank you, Broken Arrow Public Schools, for the recognition and support. And also a special thank you to Matthews Ford for that super fun car that I had the privilege to drive this last year. You'll be glad to know that I kept my lead foot in check. There were no speeding tickets, which is good. With this unforgettable year behind me, I am so excited to pass the torch on to one of our incredible candidates honored this evening. A few weeks ago, I had the privilege to serve on a committee to interview each one of our current Broken Arrow Site Teachers of the Year. To say these interviews were inspiring and heartwarming is an understatement. I left those interviews with new perspectives, new goals, new tools, and more gumption to return back to my classroom to instill more joy and more love to my students. This resulted from just hearing about their classrooms, hearing their heart, and listening to their stories. And let me just tell you, there is so much good happening in our Broken Arrow classrooms. Not only is there really solid teaching happening through creative means and collaborative efforts, but these teachers are changing lives, as you saw in the videos. They are changing culture, and they are changing climate, not only within their classrooms, but throughout their school sites. The love these teachers have for their students is undeniable. It is raw, it is real, and it is life-changing. There are students facing difficult challenges in our district, no doubt, but I assure you they are within the best of hands within our family of Broken Arrow educators. These teachers are passionate about what they do. They are passionate about the content they teach, of course, but they are even more passionate about the hearts they teach. The stories these teachers told through their interview would bring tears to your eyes, and I know we only heard just the tip of the iceberg. I think I can speak on behalf of all of the committee when I say that we count ourselves blessed because of the time we spent with our site teachers of the year. They are not only great educators, they are simply just great human beings. And as you've noticed from watching the video of our above and beyond candidates, the same can be said of them too, just great, great people. I believe I can also speak for everyone in this room when I say that all of you honored tonight, we say thank you. Thank you for answering the call to serve where you are at this year. Thank you for the long hours you pour into your position to plan and prepare. Thank you for the long hours you pour into your students to differentiate learning, to coach, and to encourage. Thank you for your positivity on the hardest of days to push, to pursue, and to persevere. Thank you for your transparency on the hardest of days, reminding all of us that you are in the thicket too. And thank you for giving so much of yourself, your time, your effort, and your energy to progress the work forward in the life of a child. We are all not strangers to the truth that no one steps into this profession for money, and certainly not the accolades, but we step into it with the hope of changing the life of a child. And let me assure you, you are not changing the life of just one child, but many, many children. The work in education is hard, and especially in light of all the things that are working right now to tear us down and to tear us apart. So may I encourage all of us to be motivated and inspired by the good work happening through us, around us, and inside us as we all serve together in this wonderful district that we all call home.
Thank you so much, Michelle, and how unbelievably well spoken. One more round of applause for our outgoing District Teacher of the Year. So she casually mentioned that she's been driving a vehicle for the last year, and that vehicle is made possible for our wonderful business partners at Matthews Ford, and I'm going to invite them up to the stage real quick. Please welcome to the stage Pre-Owned Sales Manager Brian Ross and New Car Sales Manager Alex Pruitt.
Adam, I appreciate you giving me a whole 20 seconds of speaking time. I'm going to try not to go over too much. I don't know about the rest of you, but watching some of those videos, that Oklahoma allergy season really kicked in. Matthews Ford's been a sponsor of the Broken Arrow Teacher of the Year for a very long time, and we anticipate being the sponsor for a very long time as well in the future. But don't let Michelle fool you. She may not have gotten any tickets in that vehicle, but I guarantee you she's been drag racing. It smells like rubber on the inside of that vehicle. But we can't wait for this year's winner. We're excited for each and every one of you. If we had 50 vehicles to give to you, we would do that as well. But we're extremely excited. Thank you all for your continued support, and we look forward to the continued support to you guys as well. Thank you.
Alex didn't want to say anything, but he might. Before we get to the announcement of our top 5, I would like to give a big thank you to several people and groups that helped make tonight's event possible logistically. Number 1, let's thank the ArrowVision group for the videos and for doing the live stream tonight. Greg, Terry, Steve, Sean, and Antonio do a fantastic job. It's like a cable network. It is not like just any other high school or school district. We are so fortunate to have them. The crew from the Broken Arrow Performing Arts Center, Kim Vinto with her crew of Scott, Kurt, Adam, Stacy, and Shannon. I saw you around here somewhere. You're around here somewhere. Let's give them a round of applause. Melissa Addison, Nicole Keegley, and Lois Newman for being very amazing with everybody in here, getting you to your tables, getting you set, good stuff. And then my PR and communications staff, Tina Dixon, Brock Randall, and Lorraine Brantley, who've also worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this night possible. So let's give them all one more big round of applause. So Michelle, I'm going to make you walk back to the stage one more time because you need that last catwalk moment, you know? And she is going to present to you your top 5. So, top 5, listen closely. When you hear your name, just stand, be recognized, and you can sit back down. I'm not going to make you stand up here on the stage and wait and all that good stuff. Ask you questions like, how do you feel about world peace? We don't want to do that to you. So, as her final act as District Teacher of the Year, Michelle McCarver, are you ready to read the top 5? Come on up.
No idea who is in this envelope, so I'm so excited to see. All right. Kelsey Arnold. Woo! Chris Bailey. Samantha Dunn. Terry Olberg. And Carol McKenzie. Congratulations, top 5.
And you follow directions so amazingly. I love that. All right, big breath and let it out because this is a great moment for everybody. We're going to announce the winner of the Teacher of the Year. And to do that honor for us tonight, please welcome back to the stage our fearless leader, Superintendent Chuck Perry.
Again, just wanted to remind you, after watching those videos and the stories from our Beyond and Above and our teachers, thank you for choosing Broken Arrow as your home. It's just amazing. You've got other choices, and thank you. And then to Ms. McCarver, I mean, it just makes me proud that you have represented Broken Arrow this last year, so thank you very much. Our 2022 Teacher of the Year, Kelsey Arnold.
Awkward silence, but we're going to fill it right now as she gets her picture taken. Kelsey teaches at Rosewood Elementary, which ironically was the former Teacher of the Year where she resided. You're doing a good job out there, Nate. Way to go, man. Way to go. And after we embarrass you further, we're going to have you come over and say a few words because nothing like having to say something when you just got declared the winner.
I didn't prepare anything, so bear with me.
First, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that makes this process and this event possible. It's such an honor to be nominated and to go through this process, and I know that it takes a lot of work and a lot of dedication from the people that are a part of this process. So thank you to our district administration, everyone that served on the committee, ArrowVision, all of our sponsors, and everyone behind the scenes that has poured into honoring teachers, because I mean, it's such a privilege to be here. And then I can't look at my family, but thank you to my family and my support system, the people that are here with me, and to everyone that's here in this room. You know how hard it is to teach if you're a teacher, and having that firm foundation of those people that pour into you, you are touching our students' lives through the way you impact us, because we're able to do what we are called to do in a way that's more empowering because we're being supported. So thank you very much to everyone that's here supporting your Teacher of the Year. I don't even have the words to say how honored I am to be standing here right now. As I said in my video, sorry, I'm also 3 weeks postpartum, so those hormones are real. I grew up in Broken Arrow. I went here K through 12, and as a student, I felt and witnessed the impact that the teachers in this district have in lives. My life was impacted by teachers that are sitting in this room and teachers that have forever imprinted on my life. So when I decided to follow in my mom's footsteps in education, I was so proud to get a job in Broken Arrow because my heart was already here. And I, every day since then, since I got that opportunity, I have been more and more proud to serve in Broken Arrow. We have the best teachers, the best support staff, the best administration. Our core values guide us, and it helps us do just such a special job, and that's touching student lives and making a difference in the world. And so to be able to stand here and represent what I firmly believe to be the best district filled with the best educators is beyond an honor. I really cannot put it into words. I hope this is such an honor, and I hope to, oh gosh, hold on. I'm sorry. I should have written something down. This is so inspiring, and I will never forget just what I feel in this moment and how empowered I feel to go continue changing lives. And thank you so much for this opportunity.
You get to stand there for just a little bit longer as the Matthews Ford gentlemen present her with the keys to her new vehicle. One more time. Big congratulations for Miss Kelsey Arnold. You just hang up here for a second. She's just going to hang up here for a second. So thank you all so much for coming. We are so excited about this event. Thank you for all being here. Our Site Teachers of the Year, our Beyond and Above Award winners, thank you so much for being amazing staff, teachers, and for impacting students and your fellow staff every single day. That is the end of our event tonight. What'd you say to me, Kim Vento? Oh. If you would like to take a shoe with you tonight, you are more than welcome to. If you found a favorite shoe, please, yes, take one home with you. Thank you, Kim. You're always keeping me on track. Appreciate you. That is the end, everyone. Thank you so much. Please be safe and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Don't forget to come get your foundation checks if you're a Site Teacher of the Year. Thank you.